How's it going, folks? We are back again, the Book of Game. Charles Keelan. Jumping right back into it. The next chapter is How to Woo Her for Cheap. I'd rather have my gravy. A quote by R. Everette, whatever that is. Excuse me. Extensive and expensive. Okay, your date is coming up. You set high demands for yourself to make the best impression on her. You want to make this night as memorable as possible. But you don't have a lot of ends to do it. But to show her the time she deserves, you'll need to bring the credit card, the debit card, cash, and traveler's checks, right? Nope. You're very wrong. I was raised in a different era. My father taught my brother and I values. When the snow got thick, the thin-sillet boots came out. We went out in the community and shoveled snow for neighborly wages, made a killing. When the sun was blazing, the buckets came out. We set up a car wash right in front of the house, made a killing. When Halloween came around, the bags came out. My brother and I trick-or-treated and racked up enough candy to last us until Resurrection Sunday. Yep, you got it. We made a killing. Martino's method was genius. He wanted us to experience making money for ourselves that we respect and appreciated. My father taught us how to put stretch marks on a dollar. He taught us a code of treasuring what we had. And most importantly, he showed us that the finest things in life don't come at a high price. These principles stuck as I got older. I applied them to my professional and dating life. I now know that I can show a damsel the world for little or no out-of-pocket expense. And today I take that honor and privilege of showing you how to do the same. The horror stories. I have comrades who have been buzzing over this chapter. I had no idea that this was such an urgency until I started listening to some friends, male and female, speak about their dating hardships. I've heard all the horror stories, ranging from the man who dropped nearly $500 on a date and was absolutely frustrated. Number 2, damsel who was asked to go Dutch on a first date because the tab accidentally got out of control. 3rd, a couple who hardly ever goes out for fear of going into debt. Men need to know how to appropriate their funds to maximize the dating experience. But there's a deeper issue. There's a lot of stress that comes with misappropriated funds on a date. If a man spends a lot, he usually expects something from a damsel at the end. If that certain something is not rendered, this poses a physical and financial stress on him if he's not ready to make that move. She may be very attracted to him and want to see him again, but he's no longer interested because he bit off more than he could chew, literally, on the first date. With a $12,000 tab. Oh, I'll let you know where my money is at. 12 grand on a day, yeesh. I ain't got it. I ain't even gonna hold you. Meanwhile, he has to refinance his apartment to survive. If the communication is not clear, she will have absolutely no idea as to why he disappeared at all. Now, I think back, days that I've spent the most on, I've had the least fun. Spending a lot usually calls for a lack of creativity and personal touch. It's easy to take someone to a restaurant and spend a few $100s. But do we have the time of our lives? Were we even satisfied? Was the cheesecake thick enough? Probably not. Most likely, the place will only be a bragging right for a damsel. She's just glad at the opportunity to either update the place's feature on her page or taking a food selfie to boast to her followers about where she ate. Any man/damsel can spend a fortune on a date, but not everyone can make it memorable. If your game is extensive, dating or wooing someone does not have to be expensive. Soapbox. Story time. The best date I've ever been on in my life. I spent $26, and this was just recently. There's no pussyfooting around it. This damsel was a certified rocket launcher. Means an exquisite damsel. That's the definition of rocket launcher, according to Charles. I was booked for a comedy show, and we drove to the venue so she could watch me perform. The drive was an hour away. We laughed and talked the whole ride. Halfway up, I got the news that the show was canceled. Slight frustration. My plan for dinner and a comedy show had been foiled. I had to think on my toes. U-turn. I overheard from a female comrade earlier that day that Jupiter was in town. And no, not a band or a musician, the planet. I took my date to the Griffith Observatory in LA, a museum in the Hollywood Hills for viewing space. Amount spent? Nothing. My date and I continued our laughs and good conversation. There's a gigantic telescope at the observatory. We used it to get a clear view of Jupiter. It was awesome. My date was in awe as well. I just saw Jupiter. This is the best date ever. She later mentioned how she wished her mother was there to witness the sight and that she missed home. So what did I do? I took her to a restaurant that I knew called home. Amount spent? $26. Everything was amazing. Ambiance, food, conversation, sexual chemistry. It was the perfect date. And to be honest, very hard to follow. Now, how can one follow taking a rocket launcher to see Jupiter? They say the best things in life are free. Now, this is true for the most part. If you're talking about air, water, and cologne samples at the fragrance counter. Pro tip. The second best things in life, however, are not necessarily free, but they are cheap. Men need to know about these things. How to put stretch marks on a dollar. Listen carefully. For the first time ever, I'm going to give you some 30 alternatives of showing a damsel the world, and to the damsel, if it applies, flip it. These are old recipes passed down from my father that will get you a major edge on the rest. Thanks to him, I've never in my life had a problem wooing a woman of interest. So guard these gems with your life. Comedy club/theater. Now, you may think I'm partial because I'm a humorist, but I'm not. I've been exercising this date option long before my profession. And most clubs have cheap or free entry before a certain time with a drink purchase minimum. Comedy is medicine. And what's more, damsels adore laughter. Take some of that stress off and you'll be laughing all the way to the bank, literally. Especially knowing you've saved some dough. Amount spent? $35. Savings? $200. A walk in the park. Women love a good listener. The most valuable thing you can give her is an ear. And even better, you have two to give. Just listen. Women love to talk. And even when they're chatting about sound, and even when what they're chatting about sounds insignificant. Let's try this again. Women love to talk, even when what they're chatting about sounds insignificant. Listen anyway. The park is free. Buy some ice cream and laugh at all the kids who can't throw a frisbee. The atmosphere around you will make for good conversation. She'll appreciate that. And so will your pockets. Amount spent, $6. Savings, $77. Excuse me. Picnic. To tag on the park idea, a picnic is a sure winner. It will showcase your organizational skills. Did I say that right the first time? It don't matter. We're going to say it again. Showcase your organizational skills and how thoughtful you are. Bring some good food and treats. If you do it right, this could be your whole date. And she'll probably want to ravage you afterwards in the best way. Amount spent, $31. Savings, $92. Anywhere to dance. Have you ever met a damsel who doesn't like to cut up a dance floor? Moving on. Amount spent, $30. Savings, $60. Don't get me started on the dance thing. Pro tip. That's all I'm going to say. If you know, you know. Stroll on the beach. If you live near a beach or boardwalk area, this is a sure shot. Get it? Women love the water. The sun shining automatically creates a happy environment. Even if there's overcast, you should go. At least in this case, there wouldn't be a lot of traffic to fight. Break a small bill and get some funnel cake. Here's a formula. Funnel cake plus sand plus sun equals instant success with the damsel. Plus, this will be a fine opportunity to give her the toe check. Pro tip. Amount spent, $7. Savings, $112. The amount spent on the beach is a little bit tricky here in LA because it costs the park. And it ain't fucking $7. Even an Uber or a Lyft, unless you're taking the bus and Museums. Most museums have a designated free day per week or a couple per month. Find out when they are. The benefit of a museum is like no other. You can have fun and learn something. Museums provide a great platform for you to test out one another's cerebral skills or lack thereof. Pro tip. Now is a good time to show off that useless fact that you know about honey badgers. It'll impress her. Bring your phone so you can snap some photos, act stupid, and document it. Cook dinner at home. For $30, I can cook the same dinner at home that would cost $200 at a 5-star restaurant. Plus, it'll taste better. I promise. This is a much more personal and romantic setting and combines a damsel's three favorite things: laughter, food, and a good listener. Amount spent $30. Savings $181. Pro tip. Sorry about that. Quick pause to change the song. Ride the local train. There's something nostalgic and mystical about trains. Okay, so just me. Peers over shoulder awkwardly. Anyway, park your car and hop on the public train. Ride it to the end. Who cares? Get off at a stop that neither of you have ever been and have lunch at a strange place. I personally like to provide the element of discovery on my dates. It'll be cool to do something that neither of you have done before. Amount spent, $21. Savings, $69. Oh, mind you, this book is from 2017, so add inflation to this. I get it, it's expensive now. People aren't working as much as they used to, so please, you can adjust your math. Movie matinees. You can't even go to the theater anymore without breaking 100. By the time you factor in movie tickets, 3D IMAX goggles, popcorn, beverage, valet parking, shoe shining, coat check, and solicitors for the Red Cross outside the theater, you're looking at $450. Going early is a very inexpensive alternative to the evening showings. Amount spent, $25. Savings, $425. Drive-in theater. Now, this is one of my all-time favorites. It takes an innovative soul to even think of this classic move. Pro tip. In all honesty, the drive-in movie theater are an endangered species, this is true, but well worth the drive once you find one. Find out her favorite snacks prior to the journey and buy them all. As long as you have a working radio and a blanket, you can't lose here. Amount spent, $28. Savings, $209. Pro fucking tip. Are you shitting me? Pro tip, drive-in theaters. What? Happy hour. Ironic, this hour is not that happy for someone like myself who doesn't drink. But dive bars and lounges offer a great ambiance for dialogue. Food and drinks are offered at a fraction of the normal price. Order a few things to taste and share. This will work in your favor. Drinks are a fortune nowadays. I have it even worse. Bottled water costs more than vodka at the bar. For this reason, I usually buy a rum and coke and boil it. Amount spent, $30. Savings, $200. Bowling, man. Bowling used to be a much cheaper date than it is now. This is true. There's a new wave of full-line bowling lanes that offer sushi and table dances. I went to one in my hometown and put major fender damage on my money clip. Nevertheless, there's still some classic lanes out there. Find them. Most of them have certain days where you can bowl all night for a flat rate. Bowling makes for a good time to get touchy-feely too. Amount spent, $34. Savings, $113. Indoor spa day. A steamy and cheap alternative to professional spas. The formula is simple. Glass of wine, pennies. Bottle of massage oil, pennies. Have a damsel come over, put some good tunes on, have a bath or a shower to get some of that daytime grit off of you. Take turns massaging one another. Have some fresh plump, cold, and sweet grapes on standby. Need I keep speaking? Amount spent, $11. Savings, $200. Listen, obviously this is for later on in whatever courting phase you guys are in. You know, well, maybe not unless you get down like that. And more power to it. I love it for you. I love it for me. Volunteer. I took a damsel with me to feed the homeless a couple of times. It was one of the most gratifying feelings of my life. There's nothing like using your time and resources to help others. Amount spent? Gas money. Indoor rock climbing, sports, exercise. Physical fitness is very sexy to both parties. Have fun and work up an appetite. Pro tip. And not you trainers that be out there trying to fuck on your clients. Like, we're not talking about that. Like, let's, have some professionalism, some couth. So. Festivals, county fairs, carnivals. Pro tip. These make for a pleasant outing, especially in the summertime, and most are free, and they're cultured. Pursue your local paper to see what's shaking. Also, research the popular monuments or landmarks specific to your area. I bet you there's a gang of people who live in France but never get to see the Eiffel Tower. And don't underestimate the local destinations. People always say they want to go to these local gyms but never actually make it, even though they live right around the corner. As you can see, there's a bunch of ways to show a damsel the world for cheap. Too many to mention, but that's a good thing. I just wanted to open your mind up to the options, which is the best thing in the world. I have to move on. And I'm sure you have better things to do than be reading all day. Be creative. RIP to dinner and a movie. A movie is always a bad day, especially early. You can't get to know a person. Anyway. First order of business. Take dinner and movie out of your vocabulary. Kill the whole concept. This phrase is so outdated that the person who made it up is probably not even living to revel in the demise of your edge. Let's read it again. First order of business. Take dinner and a movie out of your vocabulary. Kill the whole concept. This phrase is so outdated that the person who made it up is probably not even living to revel in the demise of your edge. Dating shouldn't be a routine, it should be an exercise. The world is at your fingertips. Do something remarkable. You have options. Go see a local band, play some board games, go putt-putting. Pro tip, or test drive some expensive cars. Pro tip, if she doesn't have a driver's license, teach her how to drive in your car. If I were you, I'd just invite her over for coffee and a strudel. Most dates are unexciting. Like day-old ginger ale. Find inventive ways to spend your money and intrigue her. You have to understand that more is not always more. Sometimes less is less. When done incorrectly, but for the most part, less is more. Damsels love creativity. If you're on a tight budget, even better. This will force you to be creative, which money cannot buy. Creativity gets her attention. Spontaneity keeps it. Getting your edge is simple. Keep it simple. Let her talk and feed her. Provide an atmosphere that will allow your damsel to get on her soapbox. Your opportunities to do this are extensive, and please believe you don't need to spend a lot to do it. Pro tips, and more pro tips. Till next time.